Hey Giacomo, good to see you on this server.
Yeah, good to see you too. We'll have a little quick look through our buildings.
Yep, sure.
So over here we've got the recycling depository, kind of a landfill site to store all of the waste for the city. I think you can access it for non-recyclable materials. We have a incineration machine which is eco-friendly because, as you can see, once it's incinerated, it'll go straight up through this glass pipe or the CO2 cloud gas, and the CO2 gas will be put down in here where it will be stored as landfill as well. We've also, so obviously the solar panels are for electricity. We've also got geothermal plants underneath here which provide power as well, and if you look at these red wires, you can see that's kind of a representation of the electricity being transported.
So basically, we also have a seaport. So because we had a limitation, it was hard for us to make like a huge ocean. So we've got a little interpretation of an ocean over here. And so in Minecraft, we had to think of problems because it's sort of like physics, like for the water, where the direction goes. So
As well as with the ocean, the water is also used for hydroelectricity through this plant here. So that's a third source of sustainable energy for the city. And once again, if you look up at the top, you can see that we've got these wirings that just represent it. And then also behind that we have some wind turbines. Obviously we could only make 4 because of some of the restrictions in the game, but in the actual city there would be quite a couple of wind turbines which also have the power going underneath the city, and then that gets connected to the residential areas.
our residential areas are really eco-friendly, which was what the topic was all about. So
Also, with all of the residential houses, you can see that there's solar panels on the roof, and around the back of all the houses there's rainwater tanks, which also underneath them would have filters to make all the water clean. So that means that we're not relying as much on purified water source all the time. And then from the residential areas, there are 3 main types. There's large houses, such as that wooden one over there. There's sandstone apartment blocks, which have about 6 apartments in them. And then there's also smaller houses, which are usually for one person. And this building over here is a vertical farm, so it provides the city with all the sources of food that they need, but it's also compact. And if you look at the signs here, some of the signs represent words in Japanese, because that was one of the challenges we had to do during the task. So on the first level we've got sugar canes, and there'll be other crops as well. Also with the vertical farm, what we've tried to do is cover all the different types of food groups. So we had the sort of fruit and vegetable down there, as you saw, the pumpkins. Up here is proteins and meats we've got animal farms, but we can't represent animals in Minecraft. And also a fishing pond. Obviously there would be the fish there. Below with the wheat, that's sort of carbohydrates and all that sort of bread and pasta. And then up here we've got also trees which are representative of apple trees, and obviously some other fruits as well. And what we've done with the trees here, they also add to the sustainability because they are taking in the CO2 from the atmosphere, and not only taking that in to help the environment, but at the same time providing a food source for the city.
also represented the government. So here, if you can see, we've got here, as in like real Australian politics, we've got Kevin Rudd's office, we've got Julia Gillard's office, we've got Tony Abbott and Julie Bishop's office. So basically, it's to represent real Australian city life with the politics and democracy.
And the reason that we did that is kind of to bring it back to reality and show that these sustainable things and what we've tried to represent with this city can be put into action in society. So that's pretty much all of the elements of our city, and what we've tried to do is make it consider every single aspect of a normal city and then convert that in a way that would be both sustainable but realistic and able to be applied to Australian society. That'd be a wrap.